Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're flipping the dystopian script to uncover how AI is actually being used to solve real, deeply human problems. We always hear about the dangers of machines taking over, right? But the data tells a remarkably different story, particularly when we look at how the healthcare and urban planning sectors are applying AI for some seriously positive societal impact right now. Let's kick things off with a pretty massive question. How would you feel if a machine could read your emotions just by analyzing your face or your voice? It sounds a bit like sci-fi, right? But the research shows this isn't some far-off hypothetical. It's happening today, and the implications for our daily lives are absolutely staggering. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the human-centric AI shift, transforming healthcare with AI, building sustainable smart cities, the empathy and ethics challenge, and finally, keeping humans in the loop. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the human-centric AI shift. This represents a total paradigm shift in how technologists are actually building our future. The crucial point here is this idea of human-centric AI. For the longest time, the tech industry was just obsessed with automation for the sake of efficiency, literally trying to replace human effort entirely. But human-centric AI flips that totally on its head. It is entirely about building intelligent systems that prioritize our well-being and act as collaborative partners to amplify what we can do. It's technology designed to serve us, not the other way around. Which brings us to Section 2, transforming healthcare with AI. Now, what's really amazing about this is seeing how this human-centric philosophy is literally saving lives right now. This isn't abstract theory. It's having a massive, positive societal impact today. Look at this staggering list from the research. By applying emotion recognition and facial analysis, doctors are actually detecting strokes and Parkinson's disease early, just from super subtle speech patterns or facial expressions. Reconstructive surgeons are using computer vision to evaluate pre- and post-surgery results for patients with facial palsy. And wearable caps are now reading resting heart rates to deliver soothing vibrations for stress relief. But honestly, the most incredible one, patients with severe mobility issues can now steer their motorized wheelchairs just by smiling. That perfectly shows how AI can restore independence and dignity in a profoundly human way. And it's not just physical health. We're seeing incredible breakthroughs in mental health too. Empathetic chatbots are being specifically designed to acknowledge when a user is frustrated or upset. When mental health patients actually feel heard and understood by these systems, their engagement shoots way up. They open up more. Whether it's therapy or customer service, fostering that perceived empathy builds a massive bridge of trust. Okay, let's step out of the doctor's office for Section 3, Building Sustainable Smart Cities, and see how this applies to urban planning. Researchers in sustainable innovation have proposed this really smart, structured, three-level paradigm to humanize AI in smart cities. This makes sure the tech scales up ethically. At the micro level, we're talking about individual applications, like how you or I interact with a city service. Then at the meso level, it scales to community systems. Think neighborhood resource sharing. And finally, the macro level is all about citywide integration. It basically ensures that as we build these massive sustainable infrastructures, human experiences stay front and center at every single layer of the city. And these concepts are built on a really rigorous academic foundation. Institutions are relentlessly testing these frameworks to make sure we have transparency, fairness, and collective intelligence in our infrastructure. So this isn't just some corporate land grab for smart cities. It's being heavily scrutinized by researchers to make sure it actually benefits the public good and sticks to strict ethical standards. Now, to tackle brand new urban challenges, cities are using these three hybrid approaches that perfectly blend artificial processing power with human ingenuity. Because while AI is great at automating routine stuff, complex issues like citywide sustainability need a blend. Sometimes the AI and humans search for solutions completely independently. Other times it's sequential. The AI crunches a ton of data, then hands it over to a human planner. But the real magic happens during interactive search, where human planners and AI systems collaborate dynamically back and forth, totally broadening what a city can achieve. But of course, that brings us to Section 4, the empathy and ethics challenge. Because just as we get comfortable, we have to confront the double-edged sword of this technology. We really cannot ignore the risks. This leads us to a concept called affective computing. It's basically the incredible science of machines interpreting our stress, our pain, and our joy. It is the exact engine making those healthcare and smart city breakthroughs possible. But giving a machine the power to read human emotions, that is a very heavy responsibility. Because as the Partnership on AI warns in their research, if the ability to read our deepest feelings is automated without serious guardrails, it poses massive risks to our privacy and autonomy. Just imagine a world where a remote education platform, or even your workplace, tracks your microexpressions to judge how alert you are, or a social media platform intentionally manipulating your newsfeed to change your mood. The potential for manipulation by people holding economic and political power is huge. So, to avoid that dystopian reality, organizations are strictly embedding core ethical norms directly into the AI's programming from day one. Researchers stress that true sustainable innovation cannot happen without multi-generational justice, meaning the tech shouldn't harm our children's future. It also requires airtight accountability, environmental awareness, and a deep, deep respect for cultural differences. Ensuring that rigid accountability and security has to go hand in hand with maintaining cultural sensitivity. I mean, if an AI system runs super efficiently but completely misinterprets the cultural context of an urban community's emotional data, it fails. Public trust is absolutely non-negotiable for these human-centric systems to even survive. So, how do we safely operate this incredibly powerful emotional technology? Section 5, Keeping Humans in the Loop, helps us resolve that tension with human oversight. The answer is the Human in the Loop framework. This proves that AI's greatest strength isn't acting independently. It's acting as a partner to human experts. You don't just set the algorithm loose in the wild. You actively participate in its training and operation. This comparison really hits the nail on the head. The AI does the heavy lifting of data analysis, scanning thousands of medical records for early signs of cancer or predicting when a piece of city infrastructure might fail. But the human doctor or city planner applies irreplaceable judgment and empathy. The AI might flag a weird anomaly in a patient's chart, but it's the doctor who connects the dots on a rare disease and delivers the news with actual warmth and care that a machine simply cannot manufacture. By actively participating in the continuous training of these models, we can strip out the biases and align the tech with real-world human complexities. Think of it kind of like coaching. When a financial AI flags a super complex anomaly, a human expert investigates it and then feeds that context right back into the system. This continuous feedback loop is exactly how we make sure AI remains a beneficial tool for society rather than some uncontrollable force. Which leaves us with one final profound thought. We've seen how effective computing can literally restore a patient's mobility with just a smile, and how hybrid problem-solving can build the sustainable cities of tomorrow. But it requires our constant vigilance, our strong ethical guardrails, and our continuous feedback. So as machines learn to understand our pain and our joy, are you ready to embrace them as partners in your daily life?